Hey, everybody, good morning and happy Thursday, February 15th. Valentine's Day is behind us. I hate when Valentine's over because then you have 364 days left till Valentine's Day. In this case, 365 days left till Valentine's Day because it's a leap year. So one of the roughest spots to be in the year, but we will make it. At least we can be riding on the high vibes that the Valentine's Day brought. All right. Doug being added to Instagram.
That was a pretty good joke, Matt. That was.
Was it? I didn't actually plan it. It
that.
just came up on the spot.
I enjoyed that.
Good. I actually had a nice Valentine's Day. It was not a bad one at all. My wife and I were not together until about 8 p.m. Well, we went out for lunch. Actually, that's not true. We went out for lunch to a new Vietnamese spot to get a tofu banh mi sandwich, which was quite delicious. Did that. Walked around Guitar Center for a minute or two, and then picked up my son from this thing.
What were you looking at in Guitar Center?
I was looking at piano books, and I ended up buying one, but not for me, but one for my daughter. Some kind of simple piano books, simplified songs thing. So that was good.
Nice. What instrument are you playing? Because you dabble in the guitar and then the drums and piano.
Yeah, that was a good word. That's what I do, really. Piano is the one that I'm into recently. The drums I enjoy. The guitar really is hard for me to get into. Guitar is a hard thing to get into because you got to deal with the finger pain.
Yeah,
you have to get over that hump. So it's just a hard thing to really get started with. But that's me. How about you?
Do you have your drums still set up?
Yeah, they're right here next to me. Every now and then I sit down and play a little bit, but with zero intention or structure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not. How about you? Just drumming full time now?
The ukulele.
Ukulele, right? Good.
Yeah. I dabble on the uke. I don't know, maybe once a week, probably.
You getting ready for the next year's Leaf Lake Eaton Arts Festival circle?
Exactly. No, but mostly drums. The band practices every week. And I've been every once in a while I'll get motivated and watch some YouTube videos to try to come up with some new beats and stuff. But most of the time it's really just like I play once a week and we jam for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and that's kind of it for the week.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Good social activity. Yeah. Very nice thing to do. Good. All right. Well, you left us. Oh, I didn't finish. I last night when my wife got home, I had made a curry dish, a new one from Malaysia. So I had Vietnamese for lunch and Malaysian for dinner. It was from Milk Street magazine, which is I signed up for it for preparation for this show. Every now and then I'll sign up for free trials of things because I can't access an article. But for the purposes of the show, I signed up for a trial, and they started sending me the print magazine, and I've actually enjoyed it. Found some good things in it. So I had to swap out the chicken for the tofu, but made a really good curry, something I've never made before, and it was great.
Nice. We had our chili. It was delicious.
Right? Good.
Mm-hmm.
Romantic.
And some romantic chili, and some cornbread.
Yeah.
And a little cabbage salad thing.
Where'd you get the cornbread recipe?
I don't know. My mom made it when she brought over. She brought over cornbread.
Okay. Very nice. Good. I'm glad to hear that. You left us, Doug, yesterday with a teaser that was tantalizing, and I still haven't been able to get it off my mind. You said we talked about this big weekend coming up, 3-day weekend, 4-day week to follow it, of course. And you said, I mean, this is a big weekend for me. And then we just left it at that. So I need to know what it is. What could you be doing?
I mean, it might be a little bit of a letdown, but So Katie's has a couple trips in March with various friends and things like that. So we decided that I should duck away for a weekend in February, and I went back and forth on what to do. Maybe I would just show up at your house. I don't know, go to a Hornets game, maybe. Yeah. No, but instead I decided to have a little retreat for myself. I got a cabin out, in a couple of, like an hour away. I'm going to go skiing for a bit. I'm going to do some riding. I'm going to do, some mindfulness work. I don't just have a little like Doug retreat
yourself?
All by myself. And I'm really looking forward to it.
That'd be good. You going to bring a copy of Walden?
No.
Thoreau? No? Henry David Thoreau, is his name.
Oh,
He went away by himself and did all that. And
oh,
built,
right, yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
No, not doing that. No, just
okay.
trying to find a good balance of like activity. So I am going to ski one day, but
Mhm.
also, just like time doing nothing, but sitting with myself and hopefully doing some writing. That really, I'd like to do a little personal writing.
Mhm. Good. Okay. Will any alcohol be consumed by yourself, or is that
I
off
think
the table?
so. I think I'm going to bring a little bit of alcohol, but nothing too much.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Good.
mean, might as well, have a glass of wine with dinner or whatever. But
Yeah. Right. Good.
I don't know.
All right. And then if you're gonna start writing, you gotta crack open an IPA or something,
That's right.
and then
A
another
little,
one.
little bourbon. Just kind of keep pouring that bourbon in there in the glass. Some of the best works of nonfiction
Right. Yep.
have come from the bottle, the bottom of the bottle.
That's right. I think they say write drunk, edit sober. Is that the Doug Hayes strategy?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Good. Well, that's nice. That would be a really good thing. I actually really like every now and then. I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to do that when the kids were a little bit younger. Maybe when I more needed a break because they were it was just a handful, like yours age actually.
Yeah.
And it's a very nice thing to do. You guys are good. You and Katie are good at that bartering of time. It seems when one person does something, the other one then gets to do something.
We each give each other a night a week,
Right.
and that is maybe like the best thing that either of us have done for our mental sanity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no guilt, totally guilt-free night a week to do what you want. And I mean, I don't know. It's just, I wish that, I know it doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for everyone's schedule. And some people don't want it, but it like is perfect for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Well, I'm glad that you found that. All right, good. So have you, the cabin is booked? Do you know where you're going? Did you say you would actually pick the place? Like, do you have a place? Or still loose plans?
I have a place picked out
Okay.
outside Waynesville.
Cabin secured.
It's,
Okay.
yeah. Cabin
It's not gonna
secured.
be, it's not gonna be like the Berenstain Bears too much vacation, is it? Where you get there and there's rusty water coming out of the sink and there's leaves all over the thing.
I don't think so. No, but it was surprisingly difficult to find a good spot at the last minute that wasn't, that was affordable, but not like basically a shed. Everybody's
Right.
renting out like just putting a shed in their backyard or in the woods or something like that. Maybe insulating it, maybe not, and then renting it out for $100 a night. It's crazy. It's crazy what you can get away with now.
That's the Airbnb economy, I guess.
Yeah. But no,
all right.
Found a great spot. Really excited about it. Might even do a little cooking. Maybe, I don't know. Haven't made a decision on that. But.
Okay, good. All right. Well, good morning to the regulars. Britter's here, and she's a drummer. This is now the Britter onion. We keep peeling back layers and learning more about Britters. She's a drummer as well as a coffee fiend and a non-drinker, and a soccer fan, I guess. You want to go to a soccer game, she said. D1 to Know adventure coach. I'm kind of going backwards here. Danielle P, Carmen, Kate, aka Rivercat, Phyllis Hauser's been showing up a lot recently. Allie and Vegan Stallion, our friend, kind of new friend, been making mug muffins quite regularly. I guess they're going to do a corn mug muffin.
What? What's a mug muffin?
I'm guessing you make a little muffin batter and put it in a mug and then somehow.
Oh, a mug muffin. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But you can't bake a mug usually, can you? Wouldn't that? I mean, that would probably break it, I would think.
I don't know.
Vegan Sign cannot do the alcohol anymore. If I even drink 2 beers, I wake up at 2 a.m. with the horrors.
Oh, you microwave them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like a mug. Okay, we've had mug cake. Is that what they said? Mug cake? Mug muffins. Yeah, Ellery makes like mud cakes sometimes, or mug cakes, and they're very good. It's like little quick chocolate baking sort of things. All right, Vegan Science said if they drink 2 beers, they wake up at 2 a.m. with the horrors, the guilt. Yeah, that's a real thing for sure. If you have maybe not 2 for most people or me, but 3, yeah, that's happening, and that's a really big reason to stop. I mentioned that I had been sleeping pretty well, and I had yet another one last night, despite a little bit of wine early in the evening. But I tried to put it on the early side so that it wouldn't interfere with sleep so much, and it seemed to work. So I'm pretty confident. Tomorrow I receive my sleep plan with the compressed things. I'm going to find out just how unbearable that's going to be. We will find out.
So how do they get to the sleep plan? You just like survey, or you?
Yeah, I just been filling out a sleep log each day. And once they have 3 nights, it seems like a very limited amount of data, but based on 3 nights, they're going to put together a plan, and we'll see how it goes. And that is Sleep Reset is the app that I'm using for that. I don't know if I'm going to do the full. Once they give me my plan, I may just.
Oh, come on, Matt! You gotta come on. You gotta give it a try.
Well, no, I have the plan and I'll just do it. I just don't. I don't think I
Oh.
need the daily coach and the tips and all that. Maybe it would help you because I do think it's going to be pretty miserable. The sleep plan itself, the compressed sleep thing, and I think that's the best value probably that it offers. But I might give it a go myself and save the $300 or whatever the course costs. Honestly, though, if it doesn't work, I'll try again with paying. Because if I could actually fix it for that cost, it would be so much worth it. All right.
Maybe just do it right the first time,
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Bitters has a Tama, however you say it, Rockstar set. That's a Stuart Copeland look. If you have the big Tama set, Iron Cobra double pedal. Wow, look at that, Bitters. Who knew?
Do you have a double pedal?
No, I had a double pedal when I was younger and much more serious, and I played with it a lot. And then I kind of got to the point where I was like, I don't really like any music that involves double pedal, so just rather learn to do fast doubles with one foot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do double pedal, do you?
No, but I wish I did.
I mean, it would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds real cool.
It does sound cool. All right. Anything else, Doug? It's 11:13, so I guess we should start our show. We got a decently packed weather report and then a good topic today.
Let's do it.
Right to the music. No break. Right into it. Not even prepared.
Oh no!
I did not mean to hit the music on yet. All right. Actor and activist Pamela Anderson has acquired a vegan and cruelty-free skincare brand called Sonsie, Sonsie. But the bigger story here is that she has ditched makeup. She debuted the makeup-free look last year at some kind of fashion event by some other famous person. Oh, by the Olsen twins. So sort of an 80s throwback fashion event, I guess. But have you clicked on the link, Doug, in the show plan?
No, but I
Click on that. Click on that and look what she looks like without makeup. I had no idea this was her. I saw that it was a Pamela Anderson article, went to it, and I thought, where's Pamela Anderson? I scrolled down to try to find her, and then I realized that person at the top is her without makeup.
Wow.
It looks nothing.
I would not have recognized her. No.
Never. If I saw that person on the street, I would say that's a normal woman. Definitely not a superstar Baywatch person. Not that she's unattractive or anything, just looks totally normal. And it's just not what I was expecting.
Wow. That's cool. I like it. Yeah,
it is cool. It's a good message, I think. For her to make that conversion from her former kind of personality or whatever you call it, persona to this. So I think it's good. I'm glad she's doing that. Good message.
Yeah. And this is a new skincare line. So if you have beautiful, shiny skin, then you don't need the makeup.
I guess that's the idea. Yeah. So perhaps this is a good brand move. It's not a new skin. It's just one she acquired. She's getting involved in it.
Got it.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of cool. It's vegan and cruelty free. So check out Sonsie if you're into that stuff. All right, some new interesting news here that actually will provide a nice background for our later discussion. I didn't realize this was not this hadn't happened yet, but someone has now made a company called New Culture has created a casein, which is an amino acid. It's a protein. It's in milk. It's the thing that was said to be so bad in Forks Over Knives. That was the bad part of milk, according to T. Colin Campbell. Anyway, they have received the GRAS certification, the generally recognized as safe certification for this. They're calling it is the world's first designation for animal-free casein. Because we've seen the animal-free whey, of course, done by precision fermentation. This is casein. Once you have casein and whey, I don't know how much is left of milk. What percentage are you not covering with those two things? But I think that's pretty much the bulk of it. So what this means is that New Culture, their animal-free mozzarella, will now become available, and based on this, it's going to be better than any of the other ones that has yet been out. I mean,
but also have the stuff that you're not that is bad for you.
Bad for you according to that film and T. Colin Campbell and the China study. But a lot of that stuff has been kind of called into question, and not just by the omnivores.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't honestly know what to make of casein and whether it's something you want to be eating. I kind of lean towards no. I feel like that's one of the growth proteins that is probably meant to grow baby cows to be 1,000 pounds instead of people.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, I can't, like I said, I don't think meat is unhealthy in the way that I used to think that it was. But I still kind of don't think dairy is really meant for people to eat. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad. I mean, it's interesting that we'll have
Would you
great
try
mozzarella
it?
cheese now. Oh yeah, I definitely try it.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, would I stop trying it? If I had it once, like,
Yeah.
am I ever going to make vegan pizza again with the junky other cheese we have?
Oh,
Or am I just going to keep putting this because it's like, well, why would I not? I'm having pizza, right? Pizza's not supposed to be healthy. It's a treat.
yeah,
food.
but how often do you have pizza? Once every other week? Do you make pizza?
If we actually make it,
Yeah.
like truly make, well, we do this easy thing once a week that we do.
Okay,
But if we're
once a
like
week.
making the dough and stuff, that's once a month.
But so what if I mean, how bad do you think it would be if once a week you had a little bit of this mozzarella?
I don't think bad, unless there's something wrong with the precision fermentation that we don't know about yet. But I don't think so. I think it would be fine. So I guess it's good. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, I would definitely be excited to have a pizza night that involved this. You too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
And some people will stay away from this because they don't even want, like, people who are hardcore vegan will say, I'm not even interested in having something that is identical to real cheese because I don't eat that anymore. I'm happy with alternatives. People have said that with the animal free whey. And I felt that way first, and then I just quickly got over that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Interesting. I mean,
I guess if you're worried about the health, like if you believe that casein is bad for your health, right? And the whole reason you're vegan is for health reasons, then that makes sense. If it's the animals, if it's the environment, and these are more environmentally friendly, and these are, animal-free ways to create this stuff, at that point, at that point, you're just looking for something that tastes good, right? And satisfies you a little bit better. As Vegan Science says, these products are bioidentical to whey and casein in milk. They are no less safe than the quote unquote real thing.
That's what I thought at first. And then last year I read that there were some groups that sort of like the non-GMO groups. I think it was the same group perhaps that is very influential in the non-GMO messaging, that it's important for stuff to be non-GMO. They said the jury was sort of out on this stuff. And so I don't know enough about it to know, like, if it is called bioidentical if molecularly identical, the molecule is the same, is there anything about it that could somehow be unsafe or different? It kind of seems like not if it's the exact same molecule.
Right.
But for whatever reason, they were concerned that the process itself may be dangerous. So I don't know. I mean, could you have the molecule that is somehow, even though it's the same molecule, it is tainted with some, I don't know, genetic mutation potential? I have no idea. So I think it's fine. It's obviously, it's been generally recognized as safe now by, I think it's the FDA who does that. That's the news. So yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it, but I probably wouldn't eat it every day.
Yeah, I don't know that I would eat it every day, but I would definitely try it, and I would put it on my pizza. Yeah.
And then I saw someone, who was it, said, Ben Chode says, I thought casein caused cancer, and that's the funny thing about this. Like, a lot of vegans are excited about this. You'll see Veg News do it a lot. They'll talk about the casein. The exciting casein developments that is coming, with no mention of, like, a few years ago we were saying that's why a vegan diet was so good, because it avoided awful things like this. So it's a weird sort of hypocriticism, I guess, that is happening. But that's really, and that's what we'll talk about in a bit. Like, that veganism is sort of changing in this way, and will kind of never be the same. This, in my opinion. All right. Moving on, related kind of. Turtle Tree, who I've never heard of, but they also make precision fermented vegan dairy. This is the first company to ever get a vegan certification. So that for fermented dairy, or for precision fermented vegan dairy. So what we've been having, which I think is the perfect day, precision fermented animal free whey protein. That was apparently not vegan certified. It was an animal free product, and the company advertised it as such, but hadn't actually gotten certification. This one now has, from Vegan Action, is the top vegan certification organization in the U.S. And they said that this stuff is sustainable lactoferrin. So I don't know too much about what that means, but interesting developments in the plant-based, animal-free, precision-fermented dairy world. All right, fun little tidbit. New studies concluded that meat eaters are more willing to experiment with plant-based products that come in red packaging They did a survey with 1,200 participants, looked at a lot of different tones: green, blue, purple, yellow, orange, and red. Of course, most vegan products these days on the shelves are green is their color theme, signifying sustainability and plants and all that. But red is the one that was most associated with tastiness by the participants. 56% of UK consumers, 54% of US consumers associated the color red with superior taste in plant-based meat, even though it's the same meat. They just rated it higher if it was red, the packaging. So, and now the analysis of that is that red typically symbolizes less healthy attributes and products. So people are drawn towards this because it seems less healthy than the green ones. And I guess that kind of makes sense. Like if you're not really that interested in the sustainability, and you're a meat eater and you see something that seems less healthy, I guess you might think it's going to taste better than something that it seems like it is going to be healthy.
Isn't there something about McDonald's being red and yellow because like red like energizes people or something, and red like makes you do things?
Yeah, I guess I would believe that. In marketing, they always say to make the buttons green on the web pages and stuff, or not make them red, because red symbolizes stop.
Like stop, right?
But you're right. I think red does sort of fire you up and inflame you. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I wonder what
Kinda
yellow
makes
does. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Interesting that it's associated with health, with less healthy.
Yeah. Right.
And that's why, for some reason, that's attractive to people.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what it is, who knows if that's really why, because that's why they think it tastes better, but that's the theory. That's what's going on. So there you go. That's your weather report. I did see there was a new case of human plague in Oregon, first one of the year. So I almost put that in the weather report, and then I said I'll just offhand mention that someone got it from their cat, they think, and I don't know. Includes fever, discharge from the eyes, vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration, poor hair coat. That's in the cats, I guess. Swollen tongue, mouth ulcers, enlarged tonsils, enlarged abdomen. So if you get any of that stuff,
yikes!
You might want to check it out.
So
especially if you live in Oregon.
Is this your season for staying inside now?
Yeah,
not talking to anyone.
This is my new reason to do this.
Mm-hmm. It seems like most of that stuff is not scaring you right these days. I guess the mosquito-borne illnesses haven't flared back up yet. That's a summertime thing.
Yeah. No, I got bigger concerns with the rattles or the snakes and all that around our property.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that.
No, I haven't. It kind of died down. I haven't seen. I heard someone said they know where the den is, so I know it's a real thing. There are hundreds of them there. There's one that apparently hangs out under our rain gutter, but I haven't seen it.
What kind of snake is it?
Copperhead. And it was like
they know where the den is of copperheads, and they haven't.
Yeah, someone like goes there and hangs out. He said, some guy.
No thanks.
Yeah, I know exactly. So I don't know. Somehow that has died down, but that is still going on. All right, let's shift gears here. Let's talk about something. We have two topics today. First one, I almost put in the weather report, and then I said this needs a little bigger discussion. The headline is "Kids Can Join the Vegan Scouts," and it's from wweek.com. I think that's a Portland. Oh yeah, Willamette Week. Maybe it's Willamette Valley. I think they make good Pinot Noir there. It's their magazine. Anyway, a woman named Amanda Hyman Smith. She has a 7-year-old daughter, and the daughter was having problems that nobody else in North Portland neighborhood of theirs was vegan, which is a little surprising to me. I kind of would think there'd be plenty of other vegans in a North Portland neighborhood, but tricky things involved field trips to the zoo. The girl wouldn't go on the class trip to the zoo, or she couldn't go on the class trip to the zoo. She wanted to get into Girl Scouts, but they said horseback riding, that's a no-no, and campfire weenie roasts, can't do that. I don't know why you wouldn't just bring your own thing, but those were off the table. So they started Vegan Scouts, and now it's all vegans get together. 3 to 12-year-olds. They have vests and caps, earn badges, attend a camp out in the summer. Sounds like Grizzly Bob's day camp in Fantasy Bears. Anyway, They have a taste off of plant milks with cookies on the side. A lesson on how many gallons of water go into producing dairy milk versus non-dairy milk. Curriculum based on veganism and its environmental effects. So interesting kind of thing. Doug, I really don't know the answer to this. If there was vegan scouts in Black Mountain and your kids wanted to do scouts, would you send them to vegan scouts or would you send them to regular scouts? Brownies or Girl Scout, whatever it is.
I would probably not send my kids to vegan scouts.
You would do vegan scouts. I thought maybe that would be something you would do. I also thought maybe you wouldn't. But I just thought maybe Doug would really like this.
Yeah. So my first reaction was like, oh my God, why are they doing this? This is terrible. But no, I was like, no. There's nothing wrong with a group of, especially kids, getting together who want to talk about have a similar interest and want to do their thing together. And that's great. I like what I don't like about it is that, and this may change as my kids get older, but right now my oldest, she likes the fact that she's vegan and, is happy to talk to people about it and doesn't seem to interfere with her life. And she, if she is somewhere where, they're serving non-vegan food, she doesn't seem bothered by that. And I don't know, I don't want it to feel like this kind of weird thing that, we have to go hang out with other people who are like that. And we can't hang out with, non-vegans, because we're different. I don't want it to become that, if that makes sense. So I would rather her have the experience with all of her friends, and, do the quote unquote normal thing and to help kind of normalize being a little bit different in this normal environment. And, I think that there's more value in that. At the same time, like I said, there is nothing wrong with groups of like-minded people getting together and talking about their interests and that kind of thing. So I'm not against this in general, but I don't think that I would encourage my kids to go to it.
Mm-hmm. What if those groups and their interests are like anarchy and Black Mountain sort of groups?
Like a pro Starbucks.
I think it's okay for them, to get together in private and discuss their interests and make plans.
I mean, as long as it's not illegal, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. All right. I like that attitude. I actually agree with you very much here. I don't mind that they would do this. It sounds good. If you're that into this and that's your identity and this is more important to you than anything else, sure, great. But like you, I really don't know about the lesson you teach the kids, or maybe the lessons that you miss out on teaching the kids of here's how to adapt when things aren't quite exactly your way and how to still go there and fit in and still do your thing, bring your hot dog to the weenie roast, your own vegan version, assuming you're allowed to do that. And I would imagine you are, and make decisions like horseback riding, how I don't know, I wouldn't, and my daughter has taken horseback riding lessons before from a farm where they did, stuff that in general I thought was good. It wasn't exploitative of the horses in any way, but I don't know. I just thought it was okay. I thought this is good for her. She really wants to do this thing. So just because she's vegan, I wouldn't say, well, you can't do that. And she's let her decide that. But anyway, I just think that's kind of good. I think making those decisions is a good thing. And you learn when are you flexible? When are you not flexible? How, like you said, how can you influence others in some way if that's your goal? I don't know. I just think it's kind of good. I think the life skills are more important there than the life skills that they are teaching specifically to vegan scouts. But that's just my opinion.
I think listening to you say this, so I think my negative reaction at first was more about the we have to change scouts instead of just having. If it was just a vegan club, we're going to start a kids vegan club. And, meet once a month or whatever, and you guys can hang out and we'll have vegan cakes and vegan ice cream and, do that kind of thing. I would think nothing of that. And in fact, I would be excited if my kid wanted to do that,
Right.
But I think that because they're trying to recreate Scouts, Girl Scouts, and make it a vegan version of it, that's, I think, what, why I had an immediate negative reaction.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think I'm the same way. I think I would feel a little bit less negative. I'm certain I wouldn't feel any negativity at all if you wanted to have a kids vegan club.
Yeah.
But an alternative that says, and a message gets sent, and I guess you could say it's a good message that says when something's not your way, change the world to make it your way. But I don't like the idea of like, we're going to adapt everything to you and your way you are. And so now your little league team also, instead of having leather baseball gloves being on one of those teams, will make a vegan team that, you don't have to have leather gloves near you, play with a non-leather ball. It's just too much to me, too much asking for adaptation of the world.
Yeah. But I kind of, now that I kind of want my kid to start a vegan club. That'd be fun. Kids vegan club.
You should do it. Start a vegan club.
All right. 3 to 12-year-olds. Black Mountain, all the vegans. I think there's probably like 6 of them.
Yeah, maybe. Will that help or hinder your re-election campaign?
I don't know. Good question.
All right. Well, there's Vegan Scouts. You weren't a Boy Scout, Doug, ever when you were a kid?
I was a Cub Scout.
Oh, you were a Cub Scout. Is that the same as a Boy Scout or different? Cubs are the smaller ones?
Yeah, it's just through like, I don't know, elementary school maybe.
Okay. There you go. That's where you learn your love of the outdoors, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Or fostered it. Good.
Were you a Boy Scout?
No, I never was. I never even considered joining. I knew that they existed. I didn't think it was didn't seem bad. I just never seemed like it was for me.
All right.
There you go. All right. So that's Vegan Scouts. And here's the other one we got. The headline here from Plant-Based News is "Veganism is dead," say media outlets. Does the data agree? And their article is one they have republished from foodfacts.org. It's basically saying that the media, of course, jumps on this whenever possible. The idea that the veganism, movement, or the vegan movement, is done. The bubble has burst. These plant-based meats, especially when those companies go out of business, they love to just trot out the list of companies that have gone out of business and talk about how veganism is done. They mentioned some stats that say otherwise, and there are some. They mentioned specifically that actually they do it in a kind of misleading way. They say that vegans have grown 1.1 million. There are 1.1 more vegans this year than there were last year. But I clicked on it to look at the actual stat, and it turns out that was just for the UK, that stat. And they didn't make that clear in this article. So little misleading. Because when you put it in a bigger context, like if you consider the US, we know that the number of vegans between 2018 and 2023 went down from 3% to 1%. And I figured out that was like, 1.5 million per year people. So like the number is eclipsed by the number that are going away in the United States. But then there are other European countries, obviously, where it probably is growing. So, who really knows there. 25 million people sampled vegan food this Veganuary. We talked about that. So there's another data point. On the other hand, the Veganuary growth has kind of plateaued compared to 2, 3, 4 years ago. So, I don't know. Dairy sales in Europe, I just saw an article today. They are flat or down. And some of the thinking is that it has to do with people shifting to plant-based beverages. We see all the time that Europe, there seems to be an appetite for more and more plant-based meats and things. So I'm not trying to say that like it's clear that the vegan movement is going or, on the way out. On the other hand, I'm not as optimistic as this article is. Like I kind of think there's a chance that veganism is dead as far as the veganism that we know, where people eat, whole real plant foods. I don't know if we're ever going to get back to that. It just seems like that number will never get as high as it once was.
I don't know about that. I don't agree.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that. I mean, I wouldn't want you to agree. It would be.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we've talked a lot about the vegan bubble of like everybody talking about going vegan because. I mean, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe, you went to a New Year's party with your non-vegan friends and half of them were talking about how they wanted to eat more plants or like go plant-based before 5 or whatever. That was what everybody was talking about. Now, fast forward a couple of years, no one's talking about that. So there was clearly like this big bubble and of vegan products and the vegan enthusiasm that has burst. There's no doubt about that. But like, I think that we kind of in that process, we laid a groundwork, and we laid a new baseline that 10 years ago, veganism was super rare and extreme, and you were a big outlier. Now it's, everybody's talking about it. Like, even if it's negative, at least people know what it is now. A lot of menus have vegan options, or if when you ask for something to be, to be made vegan, like, it's not this crazy thing. And I think that we're at a new phase of the vegan diet where, yeah, everybody's not talking about it on the New Year's resolution. All these companies are kind of either going under or just reshifting. But I think that there's a new understanding of vegan diet and what vegans are and what they can be, and the power of plant-based foods, and I think that is positive. So now we've got to reset, and we've got to grow from there. We've got to figure out what like mainstream veganism looks like, and whether it's 100% vegan, or whether it's it's flexitarian or something like that. And yeah, I guess in that case, maybe the world will become more flexitarian and less vegan, and so in that case, maybe veganism is dead. But this idea of mostly plants, eating a lot more of it, mostly plant-based, I think that is still in its infancy, and it's going to blossom into something much bigger.
Yeah, I actually agree with that part. That's exactly my point. Is I think purist veganism, I think we will never see as many vegans as we have once seen, as we saw, 3-4 years ago, who are purely vegans. They eat no animal products whatsoever. And I don't know for sure, because I think the interesting thing, like we talked about this plant-based mozzarella, as the alternatives get better and better, especially with the dairy, because that seems to be getting better and better. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say. Some of it's really bad. That seems to be successful, I should say. That is disrupting the market a little bit. I don't know if 10% of the dairy market now is plant-based. It's some kind of big number, bigger than you'd think. As that stuff gets better and better, we have more and more like dairy identical cheeses. It's going to be way easier for people to eat that stuff without having committed to being vegan. So I think people are going more and more in that way. I think less and less animals will be consumed, and animal products be consumed, animals exploited, all that stuff. So that's a great thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just wonder, like without, I don't know. It seems like it used to be sort of easy to be the purest vegan, and vegan meant healthy. And it was like, it had this very strong health thing with it. Now, we can't really put the genie back in the bottle. Like, there's so much vegan junk food everywhere now that I don't, the veganism is healthy. That's not really a thing anymore. Unless you're like hyper committed and very, very niche, and you're like sticking to actual whole foods. I think it's going to be very, very hard to be that now that, most of your vegan friends are now eating all the other foods. Do
you think that, I like, what I think of as vegan is more of the, the animal rights people, less of the healthy stuff. 10 years ago, vegan was, was not the plant-based doctor who, it wasn't Esselstyn or I guess it was, it wasn't Dr. Furman, and, like it was the activist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't associated with health. That was more animal activism.
Yeah, right. But then the health thing, I think, is what made it grow so much. Like, that sort of made it explode. And the fitness tie, and like that's gone now, because we don't have that thing anymore that says vegan is healthy. We have this like, well, if you stick to whole foods, like, that's healthy. You can be whole food, plant-based, and very healthy. But I don't think many people can do that anymore. It's just, like, there are too many. There's no longer like, just draw a line and says I'm vegan, and now you can't get these unhealthy foods anymore. It's just too easy. I don't know. So I sure, like, those activists who are purely ethical vegans will still exist. I just don't know, like, there's not really the fuel to grow it anymore without the health tie-in. So I don't know, but I do think more people are eating more plants, or at least I think more people will eat more plants. I think this flexitarian thing is fantastic. I just saw some research today on it, actually, talking about health benefits, comparing vegans to flexitarian to omnivore. They found that vegans were still the healthiest, but flexitarian clearly healthier than omnivore. And I think that's a great thing. So yeah, I don't think this means, bad, terrible news for animal rights. I think just the shift is happening. Stephen points out, he says, I think veganism as an outlier is dead. Maybe it has just settled into the mainstream. But I think when it settles into the mainstream, there's a little bit of give and take that happens, right? Like as we get more and more mainstream people doing it, they're not doing it, to the extent that a pure vegan would maybe wish they would do it. So we get lots more people eating way less meat, but I think fewer people being vegans going forward.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, the fact that everyone is hating on it, like all these news outlets are hating on it, to me makes a point that it's not dead. Like the people still want to talk about it. Like if it was truly dead, no one would want to talk about it. Like it wouldn't get clicks. It wouldn't rile people up. It wouldn't, whatever. But the fact that people still want to talk about it makes me think that there are still, the people who are diehard vegans, like ourselves, the people who are diehard against anti-vegan, right? And that's still enough to like be in the interest of people. And so it's not going to die. If as long as it's still making headlines, even if they're negative, it's not going to die, right?
Yep, good point. Aaron's aunt and uncle are visiting us. I was talking to them about this last night, kind of making these same points, and they were like, "Oh no, we keep seeing all these restaurants adding vegan options to the menu." Yeah. So like maybe we're just too deep in it, because you and I talk all the time about these vegan restaurants adding meat to the menu. Feels like it's going away, but like maybe we're just doing exactly what this article says, falling for the headlines. And I mean, sure, we're reading more than the headlines, but like we see these articles that are maybe, whatever, cherry pick kind of things, where like, yes, there are 2 restaurants in the world now that have added meat to their menu, and it feels to us like everybody's doing it. But so that may not be the case at all.
I mean, I think I mentioned this the other day, but I'm going to say it again because it's a good point. There's a barbecue spot here in town that just made a big announcement of revamping their menu, and like they did that, I could see they maybe did 2 or 3 different things, and one of them was add a vegan option, and that was like their big. The quote was we've heard, we're listening to your feedback, and here's our revamped menu, and one of the big things that they did was add a vegan option, and like. I don't know. So that means that somebody, because I haven't complained, somebody else out there is saying like they should have vegan options.
And because I was actually wondering this as well. Like, do flexitarian people, which I don't even know what a flexitarian actually is. I guess it's someone who is vegan a lot or mostly, but they do eat some meat and some animal products now and then. It's so poorly defined. I think that's kind of the problem with it as a diet. Yeah, right. Like, it's just there's no definition for it. Like, do they go out to a place and like get the vegan option, or if you're a flexitarian and you go out, are you just getting whatever you feel like eating right then? Like are only vegans eating the vegan option, or is that a good thing for like this sort of new ideal diet we're imagining? Not ideal, but mainstream friendly diet of people who every now and then eat some meat or animal products. They don't have these strict rules about veganism, but they mostly eat plants. So I don't know.
I would say at this restaurant, it's probably the vegetarians and the vegans that are getting this because it was, it's an Impossible Burger. I mean, it wasn't like a big vegetable heavy plate or something like that. Like, but I think probably at an Italian restaurant, there are people who don't get a meat dish, but instead get a veg forward dish, or people, go to Thai and they get tofu. I see that all the time. I think, people who are not vegan, but choose tofu over chicken or whatever.
Yep. Ryan McNair, I don't know if we've had him comment before. He said plant-based is dead or dying, but then says, or at least the hype, in my opinion. And I think that's, I think most of us could agree that the hype, I don't know, like is the hype dying, or is it just becoming more argued over? But then he says, I agree with Doug. Vegan needs to lean more towards lifestyle than diet. I don't think it's black and white, but there is a line: leather, wool, fur cross my line, but might not for others. That's a good point. Mm-hmm. Ben Choate says, is Matt going flex? No, not going flex. There's the ethical component, and for me, that's a pretty strong one. I'm just speaking about the health things, and I've had this opinion for, I don't know, probably 2-3 years. I've kind of never been, even in the early days of No Meat Athlete, I said, I think what's so good about going vegetarian and the health benefits isn't so much from the giving up of meat, but the adding in of all these plants and things to your diet. And I still tend to think that's kind of, I'd say I kind of swung away from that for a while, but now I'm kind of back to thinking that is mostly right. So there you go. And Ryan says vegan should equal animal rights. Vegan science says you are either vegan or you aren't. Flexitarian implies that someone's trying to reduce but not completely eliminate animal product consumption. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's my point. It's like the number of people who, if you're saying you're either vegan or you aren't, I think the number of people who say they are vegan is never going to be as high as it was 5 years ago. But more and more people are going to become plant forward and maybe have to. And then the big X factor is like the things that become available instead. The cultivated meat, right? You're not going to be vegan if you eat cultivated meat. But I think there's a very, very bright future for that. And I think it will replace a lot of the real meat that is consumed in the way that the plant meats have not. So that's a pretty big one.
I don't know that I agree with there'll be never be more vegans than there were 5 years ago. I'm not sure if that's true.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the X factor is technology, because we just said earlier today, this vegan mozzarella is now out, right? So like, let's say every cheese in the world has a vegan alternative or an animal free and vegan certified alternative. So like we erase that from the whole vegan game, right? And that's part of most people's problem is I could never give up cheese. So like if you get rid of that and now you have this alternative, that makes that way easier. So I mean, you still got to deal with the meat itself, and you got to give up that if you want to be vegan, but I don't think that's too hard. So yeah, maybe technology will make it so that without even really thinking about it or having a huge commitment, you kind of just become vegan if you want.
Yeah. I also putting a lot of faith in the younger generation, that's growing up in a world where veganism is on every menu, or a lot of menus are vegan option. And, it's more talked about and less niche. Even if there aren't more vegans, like actual vegans, it's just less niche of a thing. People understand it and talk about it more. And so, I think that in 10 years, we might see that kind of baseline has grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yep.
I could be totally wrong about that, but I'm hoping for.
Yep. And then way beyond that, who knows, 30, 50, 100 years from now, entirely different incentives, entirely different technology. Maybe everyone's vegan and just how it is. Hello to Big Meaty X Claus, says longtime podcaster, first time on stream. That name is throwing me off there. Big Meaty X Claus might be a troll. I don't know. Or maybe just Joe's a strange name. But if you are legit, thank you for commenting on stream. All right, Doug. That's it. We're done. We did a heavier show than we usually do on Thursdays. Usually we're going to Best Life Online, eat this, not that. Actually tried to do that. That's where I found out about the plague thing.
Get out of here.
They also had an article that said beef prices could hit record levels this year, economists warned. So there's a good example of the incentives and things that I was talking about. That just might be a factor that changes everything. It is Ryan McNair's first time. Same longtime podcast listener, first time on live chat. Well, welcome, Ryan. Thank you for your comments.
And Steven said, I hope I didn't miss Doug's weekend plans, but you did. So you got to go back and listen.
Okay. Yeah, you have to go back and listen, Steven. Or just text me when you're done if you don't play to that. All right.
Or text me. He could also text me.
He could. I didn't know he had you on text. You're on WhatsApp with him?
No. No, but we chat sometimes in Instagram Messenger.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. All right. Hold on. Big Meaty X Claus. I feel bad. I shouldn't have said. I shouldn't have assumed Big Meaty X Claus was a troll. It says veganism is definitely growing. I'm not an activist doing it for health reasons. I'd probably be considered a mainstream vegan. I'm currently flexitarian on the road to veganism. So there you go. I don't hear from people who say they are that situation anymore, which is why I have this sense that it's kind of dwindling. But if more people like you, Big Meaty X Claus, have that attitude, then I will reverse my stance for sure.
Well.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
All right, Doug. Enjoy your weekend away. I'm sure there'll be all kinds of stories to tell us on Monday or Tuesday.
Absolutely.
And it'll be a 4-day week. So I think no show going up on Monday. For those I'm going to set the precedent early that we don't put shows up on holidays.
There you go.
Out of respect to the presidents.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye.